Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today I'm back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and create this home called Brookvale Avenue. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is real Thomas TV1. So this home is kind of just a small cottage style really. The name Brookvale Avenue is just a random one that I came up with, which is something that I do a lot for house names because, you know, I like building these types of homes sometimes, but I can't really call every single one a small cottage home. So I have to use some other names. So basically all I do is that I go on like house name generator websites and just look through. And I found Brookvale as one of them, so I just stuck Avenue on the end of it because it kind of flowed nicely, kind of. So I don't really know, kind of. So that's what we're going with for the title of today's video. So this home comes in just under 40,000, I think. It's like 38,000 if I can remember correctly. Or maybe it's 58, I can't remember, one of those two. Kind of a big difference, but I think it's one of those two. And it has one bedroom and one bathroom. And we're going for kind of like a darker colour scheme on the outside. Now, that's something that I haven't really done in, well, it hasn't been that, you know, it hasn't been a long time since I've done that sort of colour scheme, but a lot of the homes that I have done recently have been a lot of brighter colour schemes, like cream colours and stuff. So I thought I'd go with this kind of colour scheme today, just for something a little bit different, so not all the thumbnails on my video page look the same. And yeah, so today's actually been it's the 29th I'm recording this on. It's actually my mum's birthday today, but it's actually been a few things have been happening today. So one thing is that we have actually got another Max's favourite on the gallery. So it was on a home that I uploaded a few days ago, which was the Fairview Lodge, which was kind of like a modern small home. And I was looking on the gallery today because it's the 29th, which is a Sunday, so my mansion builds go up today. So if this is going up on the 30th, yesterday should have been the Cliffside mansion build that went up, which just went up a few minutes ago for me while I'm doing this voiceover. Anyway, so I was going onto the gallery to go ahead, like on the online gallery, to get the link for it, because sometimes, if I remember, I do like to go ahead and get the link for that build and put it in the build description or pin it as a comment or something, just so if you want to go ahead and download it, then it's easier to find. Because you know how I say at the beginning, it's up on the gallery now, and then I say my origin ID, well, you know, you can go ahead and find it there. But a really good feature with the online gallery is that if I left a link for it and you're signed in on the online gallery website, you can just click download, and when you move into your, like, go into your game and go in my library, it'll be there. So it's kind of just something, if I remember, I'll put it in because I think it's a kind of like a handy thing to do. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So I was doing that, getting the link for the mansion build yesterday, and I looked and I saw the Fairview mansion had over 10,000 downloads. And you know, the online gallery is a little bit glitchy sometimes. So at first I was like, okay, this doesn't seem right. So I just thought it was a glitch for like a little while, and then I kind of clicked on the build to look down the comments and stuff, and then I saw, which happened with the first Max's favourite, is that somebody just commented the word Max's. So I was like, okay, I've got another Max's favourite, which was really exciting because I've like gone from doing speed builds for coming up to 3 years. Well, I mean, in December. Be 3 years, so like 2 and a bit years. I've been doing speed builds and got no Max's favourites from going in like the space of like 2 weeks to get 2 Max's favourites, which I don't know how that works, but I'm really glad about it. And yeah, so that's what's happened today, which was kind of exciting and nice to see. 10,000 downloads though, that was pretty crazy. It's my most popular download ever on the gallery, because I was actually looking, this must have happened a few days ago actually, because I went on my gallery page the other day and I clicked on like my profile thing, and I had like over 700 followers, which I was at 690 or 80 something, which, I mean, you know, was kind of understandable. But then the downloads went from like 35,000 to 59,000, and I was like, okay. And I just thought it would be because of my first Max's favourite, because I got like 6,000 downloads on that, so I just presumed it would be through that. But it was because of that as well, the second one, so that's kind of exciting. And yeah, so I'm trying to think what else I was going to mention. Well, actually, today's been another thing. Like I was mentioning, it's my mum's birthday, but my uncle is actually getting married, and they kind of announced the date today with his fiancée. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's coming up in the end of July. So that'll be happening then. And yes, that's something else that's been happening today. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to mention. Not really. Well, in terms of how long this build took me, sorry, I'm getting like my back starting to ache by how I'm sitting in the chair because my microphone's like really low down for some reason, because, well, my pop filter is getting really on my nerves because it's like it doesn't support its weight. It's like really hard to explain, but like the pop filter is kind of just a little bit lower from where the actual microphone bit is, where I like speak into. So I'm having to like kneel, I'm like crouching down trying to like get, so my mouth is like in line with the pop filter, if that makes sense, so it doesn't actually hear the pops, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain that. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, in terms of how long this build took me, it only took me about like 40 minutes, which isn't long at all really, but in terms of how long it takes me to do other things, like that mansion build I uploaded yesterday, if this goes up on Monday, took me an hour and a half. So in terms of that, in the kind of comparison between the two, this actually kind of took a long time. But from, I mean, in general, in terms of like just general speaking terms for building, that isn't really a long time for this size home. Well, yeah, so I don't know. So it doesn't really matter how long it took me. It was actually because I had a little bit of free time today, so I thought, you know what, I really just want to spend time on a home which isn't too big, so I'm not going to be here like all day, but also just something that I'll be able to kind of just add a lot more detail into. Not that my other builds don't have detail, it's just things like clutter, which I don't normally include in my other builds, especially mansion builds, for two reasons. One, I'll be there all day putting all that clutter in, and also the other reason is that because sometimes there's not really a specific type of home that I do this for, but sometimes by just looking at a home, I feel like having no clutter in it would be better for that home for some reason. I don't really know why and how I decide if it looks like it should have clutter in or not. But sometimes when I'm doing speed builds, it's nice not to have clutter in, because it means that it's not like another family's living there and you're putting your family in there if you download it, and it's kind of like suited for somebody else, if that makes sense. So what I like to do sometimes is that not have it as cluttered, because that means you can put your family in and then put your own clutter in to fit that family, and like they've just moved into a brand new home, if that makes sense. So that's something that I do a lot for my homes, but for this build in particular, being kind of like a very, you know, traditional style small cottage, I felt like it was nice to have some clutter in it, because it kind of just really fit this theme well, I think. And yeah, so the landscaping outside was pretty simple, as you would have seen, but kind of like on the inside now, as you can see, we've done quite a bit of the inside. But I forgot to mention that the outside was fairly simple, which is something I've been doing a lot with my mansion builds. Well, not mansion builds actually, I don't know why I said mansion builds, I was supposed to just say builds in general, is having the landscape a lot more simple. And if you want to hear more about that, then feel free to go ahead and watch the My Tips and Tricks video, which I uploaded a few days ago, and I talk a little bit more about landscaping in that video. And yeah, so I'm probably going to do a separate landscaping and roofing kind of, I want to say like tutorial, but also kind of tips and tricks for those two things, because when I did that video the other day, I got a lot of feedback about that, and that people will be up for seeing a separate video about those two things. So that's probably what's going to be coming up next. And yeah, so right now we're working on the bedroom. This is the only bedroom in the home, and like I said, it's just a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom home. And I did this interesting thing with the bed here. So I'm using this Jungle Adventure bed, which I don't think I've used before, but you can see that we'll also put shelves on top of the bed, like headboard, if that makes sense. And I actually saw my friend Emily from Emmy Sims do that. So it was the build that went up yesterday for you, if that makes sense, like on her channel. She uploaded this kind of like small home. You know what, because it's funny, because the Fairview Lodge, which I was talking about earlier, that got the Max's favourite, she also built a modern small home a little while ago, which actually inspired me to do something like that. That's how that Fairview Lodge build came about. So thank you for Emily, because I wouldn't, if you didn't make that speed build, then I wouldn't have had that Max's favourite. So I'm just going to go to her channel really quickly to find the name of this build, because I cannot remember it. Because I just want to kind of point it out, because she did this kind of thing with the shelf. It's called 114 Spring Street. So that went up yesterday for you if you're watching this on the 30th. Anyway, so she did this thing, really interesting thing with the headboard, is I put shelves above it, which is actually a really nice idea. And I just wanted to kind of try it out in this build to see what it looks like. And it was just a really nice idea, I thought. And it really looked nice in how it turned out, because I feel like a lot of the times, a lot of my builds are very, like, you can look in a build and tell that it's mine by the style of it. So it's kind of nice sometimes to I guess just branch out and try some different things, even though that isn't really such a very, you know, totally different thing from what I'm doing before, but it's just something that I, you know, just something a little bit different in terms of furnishing. I thought it kind of looked a little bit interesting. And yeah, so I kind of ran out of time here. I really hope you enjoyed. In the comments section down below, let me know what you thought of this build. And also let me know if you have any more build ideas, video ideas, anything in general you want to see next. Leave that down below. Leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't. And also go ahead and download this from the Sims 4 gallery. My origin ID is real, Thomas Heavy1. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!